Welcome. This is Karhan Tan, and I'm John Apostolopoulos, and we're part of the Mobile and Immersive Experience Lab in HP Labs. And today we'd like to share with you our work on the ConnectBoard project. As background, we've been working on advancing video communication and collaboration for many years. One of the first things we did is video delivery over wireless to smartphones. In addition, we helped create the HP Halo high-quality video conferencing system. One of the things we have learned over the last few years is that while these systems are very, very good, they also have certain limitations. To make these limitations clear, let's consider the case where the two of us are in the same room trying to collaborate on something versus the case where the two of us are in two different rooms in different locations trying to collaborate. Well, if we're in the same room, one of the first things you realize is that if I'm talking with you, you can see I'm talking with you, and you can see that I'm looking at you. That is, we have good eye contact. Good eye contact is really important because it helps gives us the perception that we're in the same room working together. Unfortunately, conventional video conferencing systems do not provide us with good eye contact. Another thing you'll notice is that, let's say we're working on a figure together, for instance on a computer monitor. If I'm looking at a part of the figure, you can see where I'm looking. You can tell where I'm looking. If I'm pointing to a part of the figure, you can also tell where I'm pointing. These are things you can tell if we're in the same room, but you cannot tell if we're in two different rooms in different locations using conventional video conferencing. So these problems which we have identified, accurate eye contact, gaze awareness, and gesture awareness, are some of the key problems which we believe that if we can overcome, can lead to a much more natural and useful user experience. And that was the motivation for us working on the ConnectBoard system. Now, the ConnectBoard is something which we've developed in close collaboration with the PSG IPO team, as well as with Kathy Child's innovation team. So what I'm going to do now is pass it to Karhan, who's going to share with you our work on ConnectBoard.
Thank you, John. As John mentioned, ConnectBoard is an attempt to go beyond Halo, go beyond Skyroom, and go beyond all the video collaboration products on the market. And what you see here is a ConnectBoard, and joining us from a remote ConnectBoard is researchers from the team, Ian Robinson, Wei Hong, and Bowen Lee. So as John mentioned, there are three key problems we try to solve here. One is the eye contact problem. So in a conventional system, a camera is typically placed on top of the display. And you can imagine that if you are looking at the remote collaborator, you're not looking at the camera. And if you're looking at the camera, you're not looking at the remote collaborator. So as a result, you can never make eye contact on the conventional system. And that's the key problem that we solve with the ConnectBoard. And as a result of solving that problem, we in fact also solve the gaze awareness issue and also the gesture awareness issue. And what I mean by that is my remote collaborators can actually see all the way up to the screen where I'm pointing at. So can one of you point to where I'm pointing at? Yeah. Can you see how the fingers line up? So they actually see all the way up to the display what I'm doing on the screen. That is what we call gaze awareness, gesture awareness, and eye contact. And also to complete the experience of feeling like you're collaborating on a sheet of glass, we also have full spatial audio, which Bowen Lee can tell you a little bit about.
Okay, I'm Bowen Lee, in charge of the audio system for the ConnectBoard. So we have the full duplex, high quality, high fidelity spatial audio using two microphones and two speakers. And then the reason for doing the two microphone, two speaker setup is that if you're seeing somebody from here, then you want to hear that person from this direction. And if you hear me from here, then you will hear me from here. So it enables very, very natural and intuitive interaction between collaborators who are remotely located, and that's the key thing. And then we have echo canceller, automate gain control, and noise suppression algorithms running with HP's proprietary software, all in a workstation as a part of the entire software pipeline.
So as I mentioned earlier, the ConnectBoard simulates the experience of collaborating with your friend across a sheet of glass, but in fact, it's better than a sheet of glass. Let me show you how. So can you guys draw something on the screen? So as he's drawing it, you can see in real time what he's drawing and where he's drawing. And notice how he looks like he's writing backwards. In fact, he's not writing backwards. The video is flipped. so that the text looks correct to both of us. And so that's what we mean by being better than a sheet of glass, in fact. And also to round up, so that's Ian's favorite gesture on the ConnectBoard. You just knock to initiate the call. So to round up to make the collaboration experience more useful, we also implemented shared media support. So what I mean by that is, for example, you can actually share a photo with your collaborator. And the photo is pulled from my local file system, transmitted over to their side, and now we both see the photo on the screen. And yeah, and one thing that we showed you here, without talking about it, is what we call the private data dock. And we call it private because I can see what's on my hard drive, but they cannot see what's on my hard drive. So for example, if you guys can open your data dock, yeah, so you see a representation of the data dock, but I cannot see the content. So there's some notion of privacy, so that before you want to share the content, you don't want the other party to know what you have on your hard drive. Yes, so we also support transparency in photos to create these kind of very interesting animation experiences. And in fact, we also support PowerPoint slides natively. And I can bring up a PowerPoint slide here. As you can see, it's a very intuitive multi-touch experience where I can just use a multi-touch gesture to pinch and zoom and move the shared media around. And in fact, for PowerPoint slides and shared media, all photos, there's also the notion of showing versus sharing. So when you drag something up onto the work area, they're by default shown. But sometimes when you're talking to a customer, for example, you want to show them your slides, but you don't want them to be able to save a copy of it. So by default, a ConnectBoard allows you to see the content but not grab it. But what I can do is to share this content so that they can actually save it to their hard drive. And inking, in fact, works on the slides as well. For example, I can be inking on a photo. And Ian, do you want to demonstrate inking on the shared media? Yes, so we can both be inking at the same time. And in fact, we can be inking on the slides as well. See, everything happens in real time. And the ink that you put on the slides actually would follow the shared media and the slides. And for slides, you go back to the slide and the ink stays on the same slide. So it really simulates the experience of having everyone in the same room. All your photos and your slides laid up on the table. Everyone can look at it and work on it at the same time, collaboratively. So as we've shown, ConnectBoard allows you to share media like PowerPoint slides and photos on the desktop. And looking at the desktop now, it's getting a little bit crowded.
Hi, Karhan. I need to go now.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
okay. See you later.
Bye-bye.
All right, so it's getting a little crowded. And sometimes you want things to go away and you want to see your collaborator, right? So we offer two ways of doing that. One is you can actually turn everything transparent. So let me show you how you do it. Just by clicking that. And now everything turns more transparent and you can more easily see what they're doing and what they're pointing at. So for example, now when Ian is pointing at the photos on the slide, you can see exactly, much more clearly what he's pointing at. And sometimes when you're looking at a high quality photo, for example, you want things to be less transparent. So you can actually turn it completely opaque. So that boosts the contrast level and things look a lot better. So that's the transparency control on the shared media. We can also zoom out into a larger virtual desktop. So let me demonstrate that. So notice how everything is shrunken now into this middle section. And what you see here is the larger virtual desktop that has 9 sections. And what I can do is I can actually pick a section here. Right, and here you have a fresh desktop that you can put additional media on. And you can also have more space to see your collaborator. So what we have shown you so far is a one-to-one, point-to-point kind of use case for a ConnectBoard. However, it's possible to use ConnectBoard for other uses. So for example, I can actually reconfigure my ConnectBoard for presentations. Well, if I get the photo out of the way, yeah. And I put this slides, where it should be. And you can imagine, this visual being broadcast to a remote audience. So for example, in fact, we have used this ConnectBoard to present through virtual room to a PSG audience in the Experience Forum. So we think this is actually one of the more compelling use cases. So even locally, in a large auditorium, often when you go to a talk, you see the big PowerPoint slide screen and you see the small speaker, but you really can't see the speaker interacting with the media. But with the ConnectBoard, you can see Ian advancing the slides, pointing at stuff and inking on stuff, and it's really intuitive. We think this is going to change how presentations are given in the future. And moving forward, we also planning to be building bigger ConnectBoards for command centers, as well as smaller ConnectBoards that will sit on your desktop. So with that, thanks guys.
Welcome.
Thank you.
See ya.
The ConnectBoard is a brand new kind of display device that's context aware and audience aware, whether it's going to be in financial services, defense, or healthcare. Anytime you need to bring an expert to a customer or a doctor to a patient in a remote location, we think the ConnectBoard is going to enable a broad range of applications, limited only by your imagination.
Thank you, Karhan, and thank you for joining us today. ConnectBoard is something we're very excited about, and we look forward to working with you to help make it a big HP success. Thank you.